said unto Satan, Behold, all that he hath is in thy power. Only upon himself put not forth thine hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord. And right there you have a lot of people who believe that God just told the devil, go kill Job. I place a bet that he won't curse me out.
That, again, is your interpretation. The word bet is not in the scripture, and God does not utilize his creation, which is precious enough for him to get up on a cross and die for, as fodder in a bet. Wow, I'm not sure where you got this stuff from, but as far as your statements, let me try to close this out and deal with the Job issue here. I'm going to go back to the New American Standard Version. And make some things clear. Some things that you've omitted in your interpretation of Scripture. Verse 1, Job 1:1. There was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job, and that man was blameless, upright, fearing God, and turning away from evil. Speaks of all of his blessings. Then it comes to the part where Satan comes along with the sons of God to accuse Job. The Lord said to Satan, have you considered my servant Job? So basically, he's bragging on Job. He is saying he is righteous. You speak of a covenant, which comes to mind. What covenant? This book was written in the times of the fathers of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, is when this book was written. There was no Mosaic law in effect. So therefore, what you're stating here is wrong. Is wrong. Romans 5 states, for until the law was sin in the world. Well, wait a minute. Let me go back to verse 12. Romans 5:12. Therefore, just as though one man's sin entered into the world, and death through sin, and death spread to all men, because all sinned. For until the law, sin was in the world, but sin is not imputed where there is no law. You stated that, nevertheless, death reigned from Adam until Moses, even over those who had not sinned, in the likeness of the offense of Adam, who is a type of him was to come. Okay, basically my emphasis is, for until verse 13, for until the law, sin was in the world, but sin is not imputed when there is no law. The law came in when Moses came down from the mountain. Prior to that, Job existed. Therefore, you state fear was his sin. Job didn't sin. God called him righteous. And then I would refer you to verse 38 and to the end of Job, in case you want to question whether God considered him righteous or not. Because God asked Job some questions that some people who think that they would know better should be able to answer. But what you also admitted, after Satan put his hand, he was allowed to test Job. Allowed. And you've read the scriptures. I'm not going to repeat them. But he was bragging on Job. He wasn't in the midst of the end of some conversation, some imaginary conversation you created. And it says in verse 22, 122, through all this, Job did not sin, nor did he blame God. your statement about fear and that Job sinned and this is why this happened is completely fallacious. Read Job 122 and it'll tell you, along with the Romans 5:13 that I just gave you, that with no law there is no sin. Sin is not imputed. Yet, as in Abraham and just as in Job, through faith, righteousness was reckoned to them. They were separated by their faith in God from people who would worship other gods or serve other gods as they did in that time. There's a lot that you have twisted up here, brother, and I just hope this helps. And I pray that you just be careful about what you teach as scripture and what is fact when it's obviously not. This is Bonjares bringing you the truth. Peace.